Hey guys, welcome to another episode. So today, just going down the hole, deep as we can go. So it's been a couple days since I played, and a couple days breaks were caused. Man, this is so inefficient. Caused from playing with friends. We tried out the Hell 2, and honestly, I went into it with some pretty bad thoughts. I know Illyria had talked about it and said it was just absolute garbage. Like, couldn't see people, couldn't like get people through the door. It was just too frustrating to play. But I was curious to try it myself, mainly because, well, first, you know, it's pretty rare to have people ask you to play the Hell 1 or the Hell 2. The community is so small now, especially without Tungle. Oh, nice. So just having other people to play with is like, I wanted it to work. And I know when me and Illyria tried to do an Iron Man, it seemed like everybody had really bad connections over there. Now, I mean, it's probably a little bit to do with like just where we were. Like, they're in the European countries, I think, or something like that. Me, I'm way over in Canada land, so. Is that contendable? It looks like it. It looks like it's just better. Not so much this one, but I'd have to do the math on this. 14 plus 34 divided by 2 times 4.92 equals 118 damage on average. No, actually I guess this one's a little bit better still. But yeah, so the person I was playing with, I think they're in the same time zone as me, so that may have helped. But a lot of the concerns and questions were still there. And of those, I'd say it was the invisible bodies. He would see me as a dead mage, kind of just floating around the screen, where I would see him as actually invisible. He was playing a Guardian. I don't really know if that was a big deal or not, but we just decided that it made more sense for him to create the game because, you know, he was the tankier class, the one who would stand at the door instead of me. So it was like, okay, it's not really a huge deal. You just know that, you know, the mage is there. He's there somewhere. He just, you know, doing his own thing. Something else that might have helped too is, you know, we're pretty used to playing with each other. It sounds so wrong. But we've always played pretty much the same way. Even when me and an old paladin used to play, we'd play together. Just it would always be, you know, go to the door, you first, me second type deal. So in that sense, it's like it's always the same. I don't really think the strategies for Diablo 1 are all that intensive, but, you know, if maybe you had, I don't know what Illyria played, but supposing they both played like classes that weren't glass cannons, then it may depend. It's like, oh, I'm running low on potions, I'll go through first, or, you know, if you have like communication, I feel like it's not that bad. I didn't really remember what he said about if he could see me on the map. I think he could see the yellow square, but he couldn't quite see exactly what tile I was all the time. Sometimes he would just try going through the door and wouldn't be able to. So I was like, alright, well, if I can't get through the door, you better get your ass through there. And I get an earful. But yeah, all in all, I'd say right now at least, like we play. I wonder if I could just stand in the middle of these guys. We didn't have to rely on like fire walls or lightning walls to, you know, specific aiming. There's a lot of doors in horror mode, and we only play to level 18 or 19. So naturally, like, it's not going to seem all that bad. But I had a lot of fun doing it, honestly. Playing the mage and having the perk that gives you plus 10 mana, you can get it every 2 levels, and it just, it's so nice. It just speeds things along perfectly. Like, you don't rely on like early uniques to kind of get you up there. Like, that is one of the worst things. There's not really any uniques carrying us. It's hard to even get like any items, to be honest. Just blue items. I just bought rings with +1 to spell casting on them. Like, really nothing substantial, but even so, it just seems like it's a fairly good balance. But the unfortunate part of playing with a mage is, you know, it sucks all the money out of the party. Because, you know, you gotta buy books. Like, I absolutely need Heal Other. Getting Mana Shield. I don't have it yet, but I will absolutely need that as well. And Arcane Star, like, you need Arcane Star. You just can't do damage to, like, some enemies starting in the cave. And typically, Arcane Star seems to be quite overstated. That spell just seems to do a lot of damage early on. So it is a nice damage boost that usually it's like, okay, well, you could buy a weapon with +2 damage on it or +7 damage, but usually a mage needs like those early spells. But even him too, like, there was a couple good swords that he found, and it's like, oh, that's actually pretty good damage. Like, it really didn't feel like he was just tank, you know what I mean? Like, or in the Hell 1, it would kind of be like, you know, if I'm playing with the Paladin, it's like, I really don't expect him to do hardly any damage. But it's like, you know, he was playing the Guardian, and I thought, you know, he's doing a lot of damage when I'm just, like, reloading my staff, or just pretty much the whole time. A lot of times, you know, you have less mana, you don't feel like using mana charges, so the more damage he does, the less spells I have to cast. It's pretty fun. The unfortunate thing is it kind of rekindled my aspirations to play my mage. I know that now I can find fastest cast speed, and it's somewhere down in the crypt in Doom mode, which I guess I should address too.
Now where would I put
I don't know if it was
this?
last episode or just a couple episodes ago. I said that I would want to stay here in the crypt on Purgatory just so I could find high affixes, like level 55 to 63 affixes, and hopefully find fastest casting that way. But ooh, that's a step up. Very nice. Cool. But that's not the case. I even made a post about it because there's so many like loose pieces of information that a lot of people would ask the same questions about, like, you know, all the drop questions, all the causal guides, all that stuff. So it's basically like, alright, let's get this all in one location, 3 big data dumps, and here it is. And yeah, it's basically starting from Doom, you start to get higher level stuff. It kind of goes like, I guess in order. So there'll be Purgatory Crypts, and then after that there'll be Doom Church. I think they're about the same level, and then Catacombs, like the levels start to change. So I'm even incentivized to just kind of like, you know, maybe not do 2 runs of like the Crypt, just try and start doing Doom mode. It is kind of hard to...
Not enough mana.
It's so hard to get that diagonal.
Now where would I put this?
But yeah, it feels like it'd be difficult to go into the Doom Crypts. Especially with, you know, gear and stats like these. Pretty poor. It's actually... It's still 9%. I guess there's only 3 that really matter, so it's not a big deal, but it's a decent amount of vitality it gives. But maybe the good or bad thing is that it's a little bit harder to play multiplayer with us because, you know, he works, he's got stuff to do, and to get the exact same time off that I do, it's naturally going to go a little bit slower than solo when you can kind of pick up whenever you have like an hour here or there. But I think it'll be good. It'll keep me in touch with the difficulty on multiplayer and still allow me to make a mage without actually remaking a mage, because when the Hell 2 actually fully releases, it's going to be tough. Let's try the Thorns way. We'll slowly do it though. If it gets surrounded, we'll just take bits and chunks. That's a lot of damage. That wasn't bad. That was kind of like a hit and run type deal. Maybe if I had like regeneration, that would have made more sense, but I feel like regeneration has so far to come in this mod. I mean, I even brought it up today that like other games like Path of Exile, which I know it's not apples to apples, but you know, it's just a reference point. Like, they had to make so many bonuses and so many... Okay, I'll start with the bonuses they made to like regeneration. They just... It would be like in 3 seconds you'd almost fill up your entire health bar. And then with like instant life stealing, they had to like penalize it like crazy. Like, you do reduced amounts, and then like you'd only be technically regenerating really quickly with lifesteal unless you had special items or like I guess, passive points that would say, okay, you steal life instantly, but you have, 20% less life or something like that. So when you compare that to the Hell, it's like, you actually have penalties for attacking, blocking, moving. Like, okay, I don't think there's actually penalties for moving, but you get the idea. There's a lot of penalties that come with regeneration in the Hell, and it makes me think that it'll never take off that way. There's no way that someone would say, it's more consistent than stealing life or healing, just like actually using the healing spell. It's regeneration. Like, every time you block or get hit, that's 100%. Every time you attack, that's 100%. So I could honestly see, like, getting hit, because it's like, you're opening a wound, it doesn't make sense. Not like making sense has anything to do with the mod. Like, there's a lot of points in the mod that don't make sense realistically, and for good reason, because they're funner gameplay-wise. But, if you reward players who are extremely tanky and maybe rarely get attacked or hit, and it's like, okay, well, I could actually see that. If you get hit with a melee attack, you stop regeneration. Maybe not elemental attacks, because they always hit you, and someone, if you're playing with a party member, someone has to take the damage, right? Like, you're usually not going to be, like, perfectly, like, defensive together. So, that's why, like, getting hit and losing regeneration that way seems like a bad idea. Didn't really realize I leveled up here. I guess I should check the perks first. I'm thinking. Nope, we finished that one. Got our toughness up to max. And something I didn't really realize is that there are different perks per character. Now, like, I kind of knew it in the back of my head because I remember that mages had, like, +1 to Hydra as one of their perks. But none of these really stood out as, like, an assassin type thing. But thinking of all these critical strikes, it's like, yeah, these actually maybe are. Like, I just kind of thought, like, everyone would have crit chance. It just makes sense. But now that I think about it, maybe it is an assassin-only type of deal. Oh yeah, I need armor class. Haha. 165. Alright, they all work. That is optimal perk. Now that one's maxed. I guess I have to think a little bit harder next time. Melee damage reduction or resistance seems quite nice already. I'll have to see. What was the plan here? Still got these boots that I want to get rid of, so let's pump up dexterity a bit more. Well, it's gonna be it's gonna be another level before I can get rid of those. But yeah, so making a mage on my own time and keeping in mind that I would probably make a lot of mages because there's going to be a few subclasses that I want to try out. It's like just making one while you're doing it with another person. It's like you're not really putting in like the time. I don't know. I don't want to like call it a job, but it's like, I've played mage probably like 3 full playthroughs now. It's like 3 or 4 playthroughs, I'd say. So a lot of that's going to be repeat, whereas this one, it's like, I haven't done a melee playthrough since... Well, I haven't really done a full one for a long time. I think my monk in the Hell 2 was the last time I did, like, starting from square one. A lot of it was done before, just making characters to play with people who had just started out on the mod. Alright. It's like, I don't want to just use my bow, though. It's such a waste of time. So what I might end up doing is, I don't know if this is going to be the case, but this is kind of like worst case scenario. You know, he maybe tries out his class, he doesn't like it, you know, he says I'm going to take a break from the mod, that's fine. But then I still have my fire. Then I still have my mage that I made. You know, no one's going to take away like the level 20 mage or whatever. But at the same time, I don't have to make the mage. I don't have to like go through all the like, I won't say the grinding, but like, you know, doing normal mode mage really isn't that entertaining. I won't say it's not like entertaining at all, but it's just that I feel like a lot of the fun comes with the mage after you have spells to use, because then it's more like you have a lot of options. It's not like, okay, I have Firebolt, and I have Firebolt, so you have to use Firebolt. You know, sometimes it makes sense to use Hydra, other times it makes sense to just use, like, Stone Curse. It just depends on the situation. And I think having the options is a lot more fun to see. Even, like, walls. Like, a lot of people don't like using walls, but it's like, there's just so many more options when you use walls to defend yourself. Completely changes the game. So yeah, I'll probably just end up taking the character, however far I get, and just like plopping it in single player. Some people like to start from the beginning, but honestly I don't really see much of a point. Now, I guess something else that's making me say that is that my gear on that character is quite poor. And I don't just mean like, oh, you know, it's bad right now. Like, I really don't see like the gear getting any better in sight, because you don't have Arcane's Valor, you don't have Lockdown, you don't have Theodore's Quest. Like, you have none of those extra options to get that little boost that you need. And the stat points are so much lower because you've got to split any elixirs you find. We found 2 actually, pretty nice, pretty lucky so far. But you have to split your elixirs with the other party member, or sometimes it just makes sense, right? Like if we get like 3 strength elixirs, it's like he needs all those. Like there's no sense in a mage like stealing all the strength elixirs. And I mean, naturally you get some from doing shrine runs, but I mean, you get shrines in normal mode too, and you go through levels faster in normal mode. I shouldn't say faster, but it should be faster because it's easier. So my stats will be quite low. What'll probably end up happening is I'll plop over a level, I don't know what it is, 20 or level 30 character, whenever that day comes, and then it'll just be like, alright, now I need to actually gear up. So I'll go and I'll start doing like the basic quests. I can even start it naked, you know what? Like, I'll take my Staff of Mana, or my Wand of Mana that's given to you at the start of the game, which I'll probably be using until level 50, because the chance of finding a Wand of Mana seem astronomically low. Maybe less now with spears. I noticed that there's a lot of one-handed wands at play. But a huge thing is that we couldn't find anything for ourselves. We probably went to level 8 before he actually found a Guardian-only item. It was that insane. Like, it's so hard to find. It's like, what, 40 subclasses? You got a 1 in 40 chance before that item can even be looked at. Then is it, blue item? Alright. And then 1 in 6 blue items maybe have 2 affixes. So I mean, if you, what's that? 1 in 120 chance before you even get like a chance at like a decent item. So I feel like the items are going to be quite bad. Which is good though, because then, you know, no one's gonna be like, oh, you came over with this character who's got like the dopest gear I've ever seen. You just like wrecked everything, it's obvious. But it'll be the other way around. Start naked or with the wand of mana, and then build everything from there. And mage doesn't really need gear starting Purgatory, I wouldn't think. I guess the good thing about chasing these guys on the Iron Maiden is
mana.
it doesn't really matter if they hit me while I'm running, because they just take some damage. All in all, it's a win. Well, that level wasn't too bad. No, it's still here. Took a long time to come. I've been missing those guys quite a bit with 206%. That's unfortunate. Cool thing is it's like one step up from mine. The only bad part is it doesn't have thorns, but I might actually look at it if it had thorns on it. Alright, I think that pretty much does it for that level. So, I don't know exactly when I leveled, but I was pretty sure that it was about halfway. So if I'm getting maybe, what do you call that, like 16% a level, it's getting there. It's becoming more and more challenging to level up. I guess this is the sweet spot for me. Well, not the sweet spot, but the tough spot. 36 to 40 seemed like it always went slow, but this is the Hell 2, so... And Mortar has revisited the XP tables, so... Well, actually, I never really... I experienced the XP tables a little bit later. My characters were, I think, level 41. Oh, wait. Yeah, 41. Yeah, my scout was 41. And my assassin got to level 48. I didn't really try leveling her, though, but... It was weird. It was like I would gain a level up, but I'd be so far behind in experience. Oh boy. We're gonna go for the reflect way. I guess it just doesn't work because I need to get rid of the mana suckers.
I have no room.
But another thing too is I don't have to worry too much about, you know, wanting to play the mage because I'm further along on this character, and if I play this character, you know, just to start as mage, unless the mage is like way easier, but I think it's actually a lot slower than melee characters. I'd say probably from, yeah. I can't imagine that it's any like going to Doom mode is probably faster on a mage, just because you can skip so many shrine runs. But once you are in Doom mode, you just get slaughtered because you have no DFE, because you have no stats. So I'd say, like, if I wanted to have a race to Crypt, it would probably be better to be a melee character. So if I play this Iron Maiden all the way to the end of Doom, I can still find jewelry that would be useful in my mage. And that's probably the main thing I want to try on the mage, is to have a decent mana pool and see how fast this casting works. So I really I gain that through two ways. I either play multiplayer or I play this character and I find rings on this character. think I lost some max durability off that. That's unfortunate. That's a lot of HP. Holy moly.
Not enough mana.
Oh no. I don't have any HP potions. It's gonna be a tough fight. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do that one. I know they're physical damage, but... Just trying to think how I want to do this. I could either funnel them... Yeah, let's funnel them. I might have to bite the bullet. Well, if they are physical, I should have a chance to avoid them with armor. Or maybe they're a spell so they always hit, so I just need DFE. Probably need more use of walls for sure. I'll try the DFE. Click on the bow. Alright, well, this is pretty, I don't know if the firewall is even doing anything. They could go on a different angle, it looks like. Not that this is very fast. I'm surprised. The chance to hit is actually pretty good on this. I don't want to say things like it's good, but it's it's acceptable. I'll actually use it now.
have no room.
Ooh, a rare. Ah, the affixes are starting to get better, but just bad base item. Well, there's quite a few items that I have to repair, and probably should get some health potions while I'm at it, so I'll cut it short here. Anyway, see you guys next time.